Hello class and welcome to Design Fundamentals. My name is Mr. Bofill and I will be your instructor. So what I want to do is go through the syllabus. This is an 11-week course syllabus, and right now when you look at the top right up here where you see it says class meetings, yes, this is a syllabus for an online course, but even for the classes that I'm meeting physically, the basic syllabus is the same. It's just a different meeting time. Okay, so I'm just going to go through some things that I really think is essential. The rest, it is your responsibility to read on your own. So one of the things I think is that I need to talk about is the materials. And you'll notice right off the bat that this class, I'm asking for students to actually get materials. Our projects are going to be all the projects except for the very last project on emphasis. All the projects are going to be on Bristol board. We're going to be using some graphite pencils and some black markers. And it's going to be black and white and on Bristol board. So it is going to be hands-on, and it's not going to be a class where everything is done on Photoshop or Illustrator. Although I understand that using Photoshop or Illustrator it's easier, I agree. But there is something that is lost, I feel. After many years of teaching, I got to say that there is something about slowing down the learning process, about slowing down the realization of a project or an assignment, that it sticks in your head better. I mean, it goes in there. There's more time for those neurons to make the connection while you're making the project. Yes, it is easier if the project was on Photoshop for craftsmanship. It is easier and faster to play around with many options, but it's also easier to forget what the assignment was about a week later because it was that quick and that easy. So we're actually going to do projects, and those of you that are online, not to worry, I will do my best to put up as many tutorial videos as possible. The assignments are not that difficult to understand. They've been slimmed down so that you learn the essentials and that the projects focus on the essentials. So, the materials and supplies. Look, the first item is a sketchbook. I am not asking you to buy a physical, beautiful sketchbook. Your sketchbook is something like even a spiral notebook with lines in it. It could be just a regular folder with prongs that you put some paper inside, and that's your sketchbook. I am not going to be collecting a sketchbook. I am not going to be asking you guys to photograph and email me your sketchbook. That is just something for you to take notes, to do sketches, thumbnails, practice drawings before actually working on the final project. That's for you. The next item is the Bristol board. So Bristol paper is a type of paper that, let's just say, it's several thin sheets of paper where the fiber has been, switched, or the fibers crisscross, and that's what makes Bristol paper strong and prevents bleeding when we're using markers on there. Now, if you're hard pressed to get some Bristol board, then go ahead and get some, use some white cardstock print paper. That tends to be a little bit thicker, and it's kind of like Bristol board. It's not the same, but it's kind of like. Now, don't get confused. Bristol board does not mean that it's a very thick paper like cardboard paper. No, it's regular paper, but it's very sturdy. 9 by 12. Our projects are not going to get larger than 9 inches by 12 inches. Most of them are going to be 10 by 10 and 8 by 8. So 9 by 12 is good enough. Okay. The next thing is a set of micron markers or tech liners. So I know I skipped number 3. Let me just get there. So the micron markers, or the tech liners for number 4, is they're basically fancy felt tip pens. And these felt tip pens, each one, the nib or the tip is a little bit bigger, and then a little bit bigger, or a little bit smaller, and they have numbers like 0.005 and 0.007 and so forth. This is how, with ink, we can express line quality, which is thin lines with thick lines, which is also variety, which is what we need in our projects. Number 3, which I had skipped, is tracing paper. A pad of tracing paper, again, 9 by 12 inches. And if you want to get a little roll of tracing paper, that's fine too. Just do not get yellow tracing paper, and you don't need to get an abundant amount of tracing paper. We're going to be using the tracing paper for our shape project and our balance project, and our texture project. So there's about 3 projects that we're going to be using the tracing paper. Like for the texture project, we need tracing paper to go ahead and do rubbings on various textured surfaces. Chart Pack Super Black marker. Now, you could try your best and use a different kind of marker brand if you'd like. Sharpie has some paint markers, but if it's just a regular plain old Sharpie marker, the problem with that is that when you are drawing or filling in an area in black and you start drawing like this and coloring it in, you start to see the strokes of the black ink, and that kind of it impedes on your ability to have like good craftsmanship and to make your project nice and clean. So Chart Pack Super Black marker, man, that marker, it is black. It's black, and you can go over several times and it just stays black. It's beautiful. It also lasts for a long time. Like, you'll have that marker even past the class. But again, your tech liners or your micron felt tip markers and your Chart Pack marker, just a little tip, it's not a bad idea to, whenever you put them away, aside from closing the cap well, to put them inside a little Ziploc bag, just so they don't dry out. A graphite stick. This will be used for rubbings and drawings. Now, you can buy a little 2-pack of graphite sticks. It's basically, it's like saying a woodless pencil, except it's a little bit thicker. And you have different kinds. You have a 2B, or let me just say it this way. You need to get a number 2B, or a 4B, or a 6B. The higher the number within the B range, the softer the graphite. So, it's okay to get 6B. That's really soft. But if you want it to be not so soft and it doesn't get all over the place, then a 2B will be fine. Try not to get the H or the HB. You may find that you will see a little packet and it might have an HB and a 2B. That's fine. You'll just use the 2B. So, a graphite stick. A metal ruler with a cork back. Now, this is kind of important because when you are using your felt tip markers, you don't want the blade, not the blade, the metal touching the paper as you're going on it with the felt tip marker, because then you get bleeding, and then if you move the ruler, it smears. That's what the cork is for. It's so that the tip of the marker, or the felt tip marker, never rubs against the edge of the metal. So that's just why it's nice to use one. About 12 inches, really. You don't need to get it too long. If it's 18 inches, well, it's 18 inches. You might have one already. An X-Acto blade with extra replacement blades. Well, when you buy an X-Acto blade, they usually come with a little pack of replacement blades. So this is for cutting paper, and for cutting paper with your metal ruler. This is why I said metal ruler and not a plastic or wood ruler, which, if you're cutting the paper and you're using the blade and it's plastic or wood, you might cut into the ruler. So that's why it should be metal and a cork back. Pair of scissors, that's optional. The mat knife. The mat knife or the utility knife, that's optional as well. So suppose you have already a mat knife and you've replaced the blade, or you have replacement blades for it, and the blade is brand new and it's nice and sharp. Do you need to get an X-Acto blade? Not necessarily. If your mat knife is sharp and brand new and clean, then you don't really need to get the X-Acto blade, because the blade is just going to be for you to be able to cut paper. Let's see. The self-healing cutting board. Now, I did say required small, about 9 by 12, but actually, if you can get a little bit larger than 9 by 12, that would be great. Because if your if your cutting area is the exact same as the healing pad, it's going to be tough for you to cut. This thing is great because this is what helps you not cut into the furniture or the table in your house. It also protects your blade. Maybe you're going to cut on the floor, on a concrete floor. If your blade touches that concrete floor, you're going to dull the tip. So the healing pad is great to save the surfaces in your house or in the classroom, and it also protects the sharpness of your blade. So right here, I have one, and this one is, what is this? This one is, I guess this one is about 18 by 12. So this is 18 by 12. You've seen this. This is great for when you're cutting on there. And it's a mat. It's a nice mat board. They're inexpensive, really. Let's see. A pencil, yeah, you guys should have pencils. And the kneaded eraser. The kneaded eraser, it's like that eraser that looks like gum, that you can pull on it. That kind of an eraser is soft, and it's nice because it helps remove pencil marks without scratching the surface of the paper. Because the regular erasers, when you erase, you start really scuffing up and disrupting the fibers on the surface of the paper. That makes it difficult when you go over with a marker or a felt tip to get a clean, non-bleeding line. So that's why I recommend a kneaded eraser for erasing your pencil marks. The glue tape. Now, the glue tape, it's like, it almost looks like the whiteout dispensers, where it's like an egg-shaped piece of plastic, and when you hold it and you go like this, you get whiteout. Well, they have those, but with glue tape. And what you want to get is permanent bond. They do have removable bond, but you want permanent bond. A lot of times, these glue tape dispensers are used for scrapbooking. So maybe if you go to Michael's or Joann's and you're looking for it, it might be in the area of scrapbooks. The clear packing tape, look, the clear packing tape is for 1 or 2 projects that we're going to be doing where I need you to kind of laminate like the rubbings for the texture project. I'll need you to put some packing tape over the collage of your rubbings, and then it's like, when you put the tape over it and wrap it around to the back, and you'll see on those projects, it is a form of like lamination and to stop the spread of the graphite from your rubbings. So the clear packing tape, just if you have any around the house, it's what you use when you're moving and you've got to tape up the boxes, or when you're sending something in the mail. That's what I'm talking about. You don't need to buy a 4-pack, just one. That's all you need. Okay, and so that's it for the materials. Now, where can you get these materials? Look, you can buy them physically. You can go to Jerry's Artorama, Blix, what else? You can also order online, any of these stores that are online. Of course, there's Amazon. All of this stuff you can find on Amazon very easily. So that's what I suggest, to go ahead and get these materials and to be ready for the class, because we are going to be doing some physical assignments, and it's not going to be digital. The only thing that can be digital, or you have the option of doing digitally with apps and printing out is the very last project, which is on emphasis. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on. In terms of a camera, you know, hey, everybody has a pocket computer, which is your phone, and that has amazing camera technology. But I will say this, and I'll probably post up a video. When you are using a camera in the class to upload your assignments, you need to make sure that they are JPEG and not HEIC. And HEIC is found on Apple phones, which it stands for high efficiency image compression. So that's HEIC, right? And what you need is the option which is called most compatible, which is JPEG. So those of you that have an Apple phone, you won't have this problem with the Android. But if you do have an Apple phone, you will need to hold up your phone, and you will need to click on your phone. You will click like settings, and then you're gonna click camera, and then you're gonna click format, and then you will see two options: high efficiency and most compatible. You're going to select most compatible. Then you take your camera and you take your picture of your assignment. And if you want to go back to the HEIC format, then it's just reverse it. Just go back to settings, camera, format, and then you can select the HEIC on your camera. So that's just a little sidebar there for you. Now, here we have our grades. Here we have the assignments. You can see all these assignments that are right here. And all of this other information, course attendance, academic honesty, all that stuff, that's for you. That's for you. The interesting nighttime reading for you guys, you know. And let's see. Yeah, we have some holidays. If you're online, the holidays shouldn't affect the assignments and the due dates. If you are physical, then, you know, we will deal with those holidays as they arise. And then we've got our grading system. And then lastly, I've tried to break down weekly what the projects are. Again, this is based on an 11-week course. If this is a 5-week course or an 8-week course, then you will see the adjustments made on online in terms of the projects and the due dates. But you can see here, right, already for week 1, which is what you guys should be in right now, you are going to, you know, review the syllabus. You're going to read, you know, the foundations or the chapter 1, which is basically the PowerPoint, okay? And then you're going to take the quiz 1, all right? And you can see right here all of these assignments right here, all the way up to week 11. So that's about it. I'm going to wrap it up now. And if you have any kind of questions or anything like that, please do email me or send me any text messages with what you need. Okay? Alrighty, guys. Welcome to the class, and I look forward to you know, meeting you physically or meeting you via text or email. Thank you. Ciao.